Mad Horse Theater Company is celebrating a milestone. It has been around for 40 years now, and that is quite an accomplishment in the world of theater. Two of the people who have made it happen are with us here on 207. Allison McCall is the artistic director of Mad Horse Theater. Christine Marshall is the former artistic director, now actor and designer, and doing a whole bunch of other things as well. Thank you both for coming in. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Christine, your experience with Mad Horse goes back to the mid-'90s, so you've seen a lot of the 40 years. It's extraordinarily difficult to make local theater work. How has Mad Horse kept it going for 4 decades?
Well, Allison and I were talking about this out in the lobby. I think that the plays are chosen by company members. They're brought to the company to talk about, to read, and then think about for a season. And so you're absolutely passionate about a play. That carries over into the production of the play, that passion.
And that means everyone who's involved, no matter what they're doing, they're all there. Nobody's getting rich.
No.
Nobody's going to be swept away by Hollywood talent agents who say, come to our feature film. I love their performance. So everybody's doing it kind of passion and because they are totally committed to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think that's a hallmark of a lot of stuff that's made in Maine, like PTF or Dramatic Rep, or like there are organizations that have good theater. They've made it work in this community because they're passionate.
We've got some photos that show past productions. How many have been produced now by Mad Horse roughly over those 40 years? Do you guys even know?
I feel like I should actually have an answer to this because I recently went through and pulled our production history, and I was looking at all of the titles that we've done over the past 40 years, all of the playwrights. I've been doing some of a breakdown just because as we were looking at this season, we were considering, would there be pieces that we would want to
It would certainly be dozens
bring
and
back?
dozens.
Yeah, but there is a lot because it averages 4 to 5 shows a year for 40 years.
Yeah, it adds up real fast.
Yes.
One of the hallmarks of Mad Horse has always been that it is doing works that are often challenging, often edgy, often very contemporary. How have you been able to make that work? Because that's hard to do and make it commercially successful.
Yeah, and that is very true, and I think that's also something that makes Mad Horse really special. And going off of what Christine said, so much of it comes down from the passion of the folks who are doing this work. We also really approach these plays as an opportunity to have a conversation, not just with ourselves as artists, but with our audience members, and it's opportunities to create conversations within our community and really using theater for some social dialogue. So approaching some stories that are really challenging, not for the shock value, but to really show that this is something that's real, and trying to approach all of these different circumstances and characters.
I'm sure you've gotten a lot of feedback over the years from people who have come to see the plays. Is there anything that has sort of stuck with you, a particular compliment, something that somebody said that really kind of made you realize the impact that Mad Horse is having?
Personally, the Normal Heart, we made these periact toys. They're like triangles, painted them with chalkboard paint, and invited people to write the names. It's about the AIDS crisis, the beginning of the AIDS crisis. Write the names of people that they had lost on these things after performances, and I didn't know if anybody would. I didn't know. And the first preview night, they filled a side. They filled a side of each one of them, and a gentleman was there, and he said, I was there. I was the assistant of that doctor that's in the play. And I said, would you like to talk to her? And he said, I don't think I can. And then she came out, and he did talk to her for a long time. I said, would you like to write something? And he said, there's too many. And then a while later, I just saw him writing names, and I was like, that play meant a lot.
You're connecting.
Yeah.
The play that is in production right now, An Empty Plate at the Café de Grand Boeuf, runs through May 17th.
Yes.
Tell me a little about this production.
This is a play by Michael Hollinger. It was written in the early 90s, but this is actually a Maine premiere of it, which is really exciting. And it takes place in a Parisian cafe in the early 1960s. And it is we go through this full, lavish meal that is completely described. So they are literal empty plates, and it is words that are going to bring that meal to life for everybody. As one of our protagonists is the owner of the cafe going through a bit of an existential crisis. And so he's like, feed me with you can feed me with words, but not with the real
All right, you've
food.
just made our viewers
Yeah.
extremely curious and somewhat hungry. They want to know if they can get a part of those dishes, but they can't for now, although they can go see the play. We're going to leave it there. Alice and Christine, thank you
Thank
both
you.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on 40 years of
Thank
Mad
you.
Horse
Thank you so
Theater.
much for having us.
If you'd like more information on Mad Horse, its current production, its history, anything, just go to the 207 section of our new Cinemaine app or website and stick around. We're going to return right after this.